Hello, and welcome to Beyond Excel, building blocks for real-time and multidimensional reports and dashboards. My name is Janet Wee. I'm a product marketing manager here at Sage Intacct, and I'll be leading the webinar today. Today's webinar is about sharing the limitations of your current system and giving you a comparison of the reporting capabilities Sage Intacct can provide, so you can figure out if moving to the cloud or moving to Sage Intacct is the right fit for your organization. First, I'm going to dive into what's preventing you from getting a full view into your data, and then I'll be diving into the building blocks for real-time multidimensional reports and dashboards.
Begin with the roadblocks to insight. Let's say you work for a restaurant franchise that has an entity that's struggling to get out of the red. You have customers who love your food, but you can't seem to cover up your costs. As an expert in your field, you know your business, and you have hunches of what you can do to increase revenue based on past experience and your killer intuition. But if you want to build reports to support your hunches, it ends up taking a lot of work. Producing and distributing reports to support your ideas means you need to go and pull up data. But if your reporting capabilities are limited, building these reports means that you have to turn to Excel. And if someone else on your team is also trying to run their own ad hoc report to support their own ideas of how to help the struggling entity, it could mean that there are multiple versions of the same Excel spreadsheet that show different data that may be saying different or even contradictory things. But what if, instead of relying on your intuition and turning to Excel to build out spreadsheets to support your hunches, you could get reports filled with actionable insights straight from your financial solution? You can set up real-time reports and dashboards that give instant access into your key metrics, and anyone on the team can access them and drill down to attribute high costs or high revenue all the way down to the source transaction. And since all the data is aggregated on a single system, you have a single source of the truth that everyone can rely on, rather than multiple versions of the same spreadsheet. And even beyond timely and accurate data, these reports allow you to slice and dice across any metric you need, including financial and non-financial information. So if you're this restaurant, you now have insights into statistics like peak hours by revenue or most profitable meal types. Then you can react accordingly by removing less popular menu items or running specials to bring more customers in at low capacity hours. Instead of relying on gut instinct, you're now making data-driven decisions that provide a stronger picture of where you've been, where you are now, and where you could be. Now you can help create meaningful changes in your organization, because as the finance leader, your role is much more than just doing financial administrative tasks and pushing out financial reports. You are called on to guide strategic initiatives. In order to make these informed strategic decisions, you need accurate data you can rely on and manipulate to look across different aspects of your organization. And you need to be able to look at all of this data in quick, insightful reports. However, many solutions are built for the reporting needs of smaller teams. And if your system can only build reports on a single dimension, you're stuck with the choice of dealing with limited dimensional insight or trying to find a workaround by creating segmented accounts for every variable and combination you need to report on. Neither of these options give you the ability to slice and dice your data so you can get a multidimensional view of the metrics that matter. And if you want to build more complex reports that show metrics on multiple dimensions, you're forced to turn to Excel to build reports outside your system. This is troubling for several reasons, which we'll dive into more in detail, but the first big one is if you've chosen to create accounts for every variable and every combination you need to report against, this often results in a blown-up chart of accounts that actually ends up making it more difficult to gain insights from your data than making it more visible. Here's what we mean by a blown-up chart of accounts. Traditionally, a chart of accounts might look a little something like this. You have to segment the account by the aspect you want to keep track of. So for example, here, the account is segmented by location, department, and project, but you may have to segment across even more than just this. And just to follow this natural account of equipment, this alone can add up to 100 different account code combinations that you need to enter and track against. Imagine, or perhaps you don't need to, that managing a chart of accounts like this while your business is growing and adding account codes can cause your chart of accounts to grow exponentially as you enter new entities, departments, or even a new segment to track. This kind of maintenance can explode very quickly and be very difficult to maintain. Even just adding new projects can cause your chart of accounts to blow up, and even more so, adding an entire new segment to track, like vendors, can quickly cause your account code combinations to grow out of control. This takes a toll when you're trying to run reports. And it's likely that your business is even more complex than we've shown here, so you likely have more projects or account segments that you need to track than just these. When you blow out your chart of accounts like this, it means you need to rake through hundreds or even thousands of account segments to build a report or conduct month-end close. You might be familiar with pouring through a spreadsheet that looks a little bit something like this and requires you to endlessly scroll through your account codes and through 40 plus tabs that you need to comb through manually to find the right data to manipulate. It requires you to manually export and import data, sort through transactions, tag them, and create rules in these unwieldy spreadsheets. This makes it near impossible to run a quick report to show at a board meeting. And when a single account code covers multiple account segments like this, it prevents you from being able to get a multidimensional view of your data. Your location, department, and project segments are stuck in the middle of your account code, so there's no easy way to organize without sorting and tagging transactions manually every time you need to run a report. Building manual reports also increases the chances of selecting the wrong data, which can lead to reports with errors. Imagine a clerk going into a spreadsheet that looks like this, trying to find specific information. Even if they filter the data or search for a specific dimension, they could still be sorting through hundreds or even thousands of accounts. And if they select a transaction based on intuition, or worse, at random, the resulting report will likely be incorrect. And even if you choose not to blow out your chart of accounts like this, you could still be stuck with unwieldy spreadsheets where you're forced to join tables, create custom calculated fields, or use pivot tables or factorials to get insight into your data. And if anything goes wrong in building your spreadsheet, it can take hours or days to fix or run the report. And once you started to rely on Excel for your reporting needs, you're introducing yourself to a lot of manual errors and long processing times. But there's also more that you could be facing. Imagine a game of telephone. One person whispers a phrase into another's ear, and it gets passed down the line until by the end, the final person repeats what they think they heard. It's rarely close to what it started as, and usually leads to hilarious results. Each version of the phrase gets slowly distorted as it passes by each person. Running your reports in Excel can go through a similar process, except the end results are anything but funny. Because there are no centralized reports that everyone can turn to, and no way for the system to alert other users, multiple people spend time creating individual instances of the reports they need. Not only does this mean that multiple people across your organization are spending duplicated time tweaking the same reports, but it can also lead to confusion over which spreadsheet is the most updated. And, much like the aforementioned game of telephone, the more hands that exchange and tweak the information, the higher the likelihood that the formulas will break or information will become distorted. This can get especially troublesome when presenting reports at board meetings. It's possible that different people present different numbers in their reports to the board, leading to confusion or even embarrassment at the incongruence. So let's take a look at all of this in practice. Say that the restaurant founder wants to know why they saw a spike in revenue in a particular month. Using your current financial management system, that process to producing a report may look something like this. First, the executive requests an ad hoc report on why they saw a spike in revenue in a particular month. Then you export financial data into Excel and use a filter to see revenue only from the past month. Then you have to go and tag individual transactions to look for patterns, and this process in particular is draining and time consuming because it's tedious and repetitive, especially if you have a high volume of transactions to process. As a financial analyst, you may also not know which tags are appropriate to which transactions, especially since some of these transactions were made weeks or potentially even months ago, which can lead to tagging errors. Then you have to manipulate data into pivot tables to look at and manipulate the aggregated data. Here, depending on the complexity of the report you're trying to create, you may need to create other things like calculated fields. This process is also incredibly time-consuming and draining, especially if anything in your spreadsheet breaks or results in errors. Then you have to loop in cross-functional teams like data science or marketing to get visibility into any running campaigns to see trends in data. And once you've looped in other teams, it's likely you'll need to go back to your spreadsheet and integrate more data. Not only does this mean you're likely repeating steps you've already completed, but the integration of new data into your spreadsheet may result in broken Excel formulas or links that you need to fix. Then you can attribute the spike in revenue with advertised happy hour specials and email the report to the executive, but it's not over there. Next, you receive the spreadsheet back with comments of data errors and data discrepancies you didn't initially catch, which requires you to go back, fix the mistakes, and email out the second report. This whole process may have taken you 5 days, 2 separate meetings with cross-functional teams, and a total of 10 working hours. So as you can see, producing a report in Excel leads to a lot of wasted time in spreadsheets. This can have a trickle-down effect of resulting in delays of report delivery and decision-making for the executive team. When executives are relying on reports to make informed decisions, and they need to wait until the next board meeting to get the information they need, a single decision can end up getting delayed by 3 weeks or more, especially if executives want to get follow-up information at subsequent meetings and you can't produce the report during that meeting. If you're producing reports manually in Excel, it also increases the chances for human error. People can select the wrong information, run the wrong formulas, or cause Excel formulas and links to break. Not only that, but this can often lead to frustration from all sides. Executives are frustrated at the time it takes to produce a report and feeling frustrated at data discrepancies and decision delays. Meanwhile, analysts and accounting staff are frustrated at needing to stop their other work to do low-value tasks like tag transactions to run these reports. The good news is that there's a better way. What you need is a solution that can quickly give you the insights you need to make impactful strategic decisions for your organization. What if I told you there was a way for that same exec to log on to the financial management system, go to a report, and grab it without needing to ask anyone on the finance team for help? Now let's move on to our next section, which is the building blocks for real-time multidimensional reports and dashboards. Modern cloud solutions can take you beyond Excel to transform business decisions. A modern cloud solution allows members of your organization to grab reports on their own, no matter where they are. You can access your information from your phone, your desktop at home, and all without having to log into a remote desktop or go into the office. If your CEO wants to see budget to actuals on their way to an important meeting, they can immediately go pull the report on their own, with no extra hours manipulating data in Excel necessary. And if you need to pull up a new report in a board meeting, the report is available in minutes. You don't have to reconvene and delay business decisions on running a new report. Because all your data is being pulled from the same place, you can trust that everyone is working from the same information, and you don't have to worry about multiple instances of the same report floating around in different inboxes. You can trust that the data you're seeing is in real time. In a fast-moving world and as a dynamic business, as soon as you export your data into Excel, it's already out of date. With a solution that supports real-time visibility, though, as transactions or processing occurs, the data is automatically updated. And further, cloud solutions enhance the visibility of your data by allowing you to slice and dice. You get full visibility across financial, operational, and managerial data, all in a single system that has the built-in flexibility to cover a breadth of reporting needs. All of this means that you're getting powerful reporting capabilities straight from your financial management solution. So, how do you accomplish all of this? Well, at the heart of powerful reporting is dimensionalized data, and let me illustrate what I mean. 20 years ago, if you needed to do research, you would have to go to the library and look through drawers and drawers full of library index cards. Topics were categorized into several broad areas based on the Dewey Decimal System, and once you found a book based on your topic, you would have to walk down the aisle based on the numbering system, hoping to find the book you're looking for. And if you didn't find it, or if it maybe wasn't as useful as a book as you thought it would be, you would have to walk back to the drawers and search through the cards again. The limitations of the Dewey Decimal System are that it's a database built on a single index. All you can do is look up books based on the limited subjects the Dewey Decimal System covers. You can't look up books by author, title, or reviews. And if your chart of accounts is built on a single dimension, you're also limiting your reporting to that single dimension. If you want to organize your data, you want to use dimensional tags that make sense for your business. Frequently used tags include things that you see here, like departments, employees, location, tasks, etc. But you can also use user-defined dimensions to create as many different types of dimensions as you want. And this is great because you can cater these codes to your organizational needs, so you have the insights into the dimensions that are unique to your business. So a restaurant franchise might want to use tags like vendors, employees, franchises, meal types, and lunch versus dinner. What dimensions do is they allow you to slice and dice data across any dimension or dimensions you want for easy reporting, and you can do it on the fly. So if an executive wants a report, all they need to do is run the report on their own, and within a few minutes, they have the information they need, which leads to a huge impact on the business because they're able to make quick decisions at their board meetings without delays. Dimensions also give you timely insights into the KPIs that matter so you can proactively respond, and allow you to compare across dimensions themselves by stacking them against each other. And this gives you insight into key relationships that drive your business. They also allow you to keep a lean chart of accounts, and you can use them to gain insight rather than creating a bunch of new account codes, which we saw the implications for that earlier. They also allow you to get further visibility into transactions with granular drill down capabilities, so you know exactly where your numbers came from. This makes it easy to quickly address issues with data, and it also allows for easy audit traceability. Dimensions help you find information quickly and easily, so you're never working from outdated information. Dimensions are captured at the source anytime a transaction is created in your financial system like this one, so you don't have to go in and tag transactions when you're trying to run a report. Here we see a bill that has dimensions by location and department, and you can open up a drop-down that allows you to tag dimensions all the way down to item and employee. Instead of needing unique account codes for each combination of codes you want to track and report against, with dimensions, you only need the base account. Then you can use dimensional tags to track the aspects that matter for your business. So here we see the base account number, buildings, and it's tracked against the dimensional tags of department, location, and project, all separated. And all of this allows you to simplify your chart of accounts. Best-in-class solutions like Sage Intacct also take your reporting beyond financial data, so you always have real-time insight into the broader scope of metrics that aid in strategic decision-making. Non-financial accounts help you to track any non-financial data across any part of your business, like square footage or headcount. Like dimensional tags, you can track these changes over time and add them to your dashboard view so you get live updates as your numbers change. This means you no longer need to track information in separate spreadsheets. You can get a full view into key financial and non-financial information in a single location. They also make it easy to create metrics that you would normally have to track in calculated fields in Excel, like sales by square footage or ratio of volunteers to corporate employees, all without spreadsheet manipulation. This gives you full insight to have the key metrics you need to make informed decisions to meet your business goals. Dimensional tags also offer powerful ways to organize and build your reports. A popular pre-built dimension on Sage Intacct is entities, which gives you key insight into the financial health of each of your major entities as shown here. And you can use filters to gain different angles of analysis for the same data to gain focused insight. So here you can filter your report so you only see the balance sheet for your New York office, and all it takes is a couple of clicks. You can create as many different types of financial reports as you'd like and use existing reports to copy or duplicate if you want to make small tweaks to the dimensions you want to report against. Sage Intacct is delivered with a choice of out-of-the-box financial reports that you can use as templates, and you can star your favorites so you have quick access to the reports you need the most often, and schedule reports to automatically email out to a designated delivery list. So if you want a specific report to hit your CFO's email every Monday morning, you can schedule it to happen in the background without you doing a thing. You can also choose to build custom reports unique to your reporting needs, like stacking financial and non-financial data against each other so you can view your customer list and filter by territory or by industry. With dimensional tags and reporting, you have easy access to the information you need the most. You can also use operational reports to gain a deeper insight into your business. Whereas before you can drill down to the source transaction in financial reports, operational reports begin at the transaction level. So here you can see an example of dimensional tags that have broken down this AP bill by location, and you can also change these groupings to look at invoices by department, location, or customer. And operational reports are actually more powerful than just this. They can also give you insight into what payments are coming up in the next 30, 90, or 60 days, so you can act accordingly to get your invoices paid on time. And we've had many customers use these reports to slash their DSO and increase cash flow. Now let's take a look at how a Sage Intacct customer leveraged our reporting tools. Room to Read is an international nonprofit organization that has improved literacy and girls' education across 20,000 communities around the world. By using Sage Intacct's dimension capabilities, they were able to dramatically streamline their chart of accounts from 56,000 to just 100, and can now tag with details such as specific programs and locations. This enables them to easily filter, group, and organize their data for efficient, detailed reporting. They're also able to track meaningful insights like cost per activity or investment per child. And this allows them to combine their financial and operational information to tell a more informative story about their progress over time. Also, by transitioning to Sage Intacct, Room to Read was able to eliminate massive Excel spreadsheets and hours worth of manual duplicate data entry. and they were able to experience a 25% productivity improvement with Sage Intacct, or the equivalent of about $300,000 in annual savings on labor, which was enough money to transform the lives of an additional 100,000 children per year. Sherry Friedman, CFO at Room to Read, said thanks to Sage Intacct's dimensions, we can now drill down as deep as we need to, even down to the cost of a single library in a single village. And the process is much more efficient, allowing us to meet any deadline we commit to with confidence and providing more strategic insight when creating donor proposals and reports. Now let's take a look at how Sage Intacct dashboards condense reporting to make it even easier to digest the important metrics. We're actually going to be running a webinar completely dedicated to the power of role-based dashboards later, so if this section is particularly interesting or exciting to you, which it should be, please keep an eye out for more to come. So what role-based dashboards do is that they display all of your data for quick and easy visibility into your most important KPIs as they change. What's great about dashboards is that they offer an unlimited number of applications for use. So as you can see here, this company has chosen to set up dashboards for cash analysis, consolidations, financial ratios, and more. And you can customize dashboards for processes or specific people. So the CFO, controller, staff accountant, or even the project manager can immediately go and see the data that matters to them. And any role can build out their own dashboards and or get permission to view any other dashboards, so they have access to all the information that they need at their fingertips. So a good example of this that we've seen a lot of our customers do is create dashboards called end of month reporting, and they give access to all team members who are involved in the close. But anyone who doesn't need to see that information won't have access to it. Dashboard setup is fairly easy and doesn't require external consultants. And as mentioned, you can create as many as you want. They also contain real-time up-to-date information, so as transactions and processing occur, the data is automatically updated and it's ready for you to make strategic business decisions. So here we see an example of a role-based dashboard for an admin, and the admin person here has instant visibility into all the key metrics that matter to them. They're particularly interested in assets and liabilities, so that's what we see here. And these visual indicators give a quick comparison from a previous point in time, so that you can quickly see trends before drilling down into the numbers. Each of these performance cards is clickable, so if you want to drill down into revenue, you can click the card to bring up a pop-up window where you can drill all the way down to the source transaction to see where any numbers have come from. This gives you powerful drill down visibility into where your business stands and where your numbers came from without having to dig through old imported files or have to dig through disparate systems to find specific information. If there's any non-financial metrics you want to track as well, you can easily add these to your dashboard. For example, retail businesses may want to track revenue by square footage, or a nonprofit may want to track volunteer hours by region. Beyond just clicking into the performance cards, you can also slice and dice the data on your dashboard by filtering the information you see by different dimensions. One of the dimensions you can use to filter by is date, so you have a lot of options for that. Or here, we've chosen to organize by location, and you can filter by this North region group, and instantly your dashboard updates with all of the new performance cards for that particular filter. And you can also choose different filters that you want based on different dimensions that you might need to report against. So really what you have on your dashboard is fully customizable for your needs. Dashboards also don't have to be limited to financial team members. You can really create a dashboard for anyone, including your inventory clerk or even an auditor. And here we see an example of a dashboard built for a marketing department manager, and they can quickly see marketing and advertising spend so they can track actuals versus budget on their own to see if they're on target to hit their projected outcomes. So as you can see, dashboards really are a powerful tool that make it easy to track the metrics that are important to you, so you always have the insights you need to make informed strategic decisions at the drop of a hat. Now let's stop and take another look at a Sage Intacct customer. Courthouse Athletic Club is a locally owned gym in Western Oregon, and they switched from Sage 50 to Sage Intacct, and were able to see unmatched visibility due to the dimensional flexibility that captured the business context of every transaction they had. They were able to create any report or dashboard they needed, which allowed them to gain visibility to optimize their sales and expenditures while maintaining profitability. The system sent reports to managers every month so that they were able to proactively tackle expense overspending and make more informed decisions. As a result, the finance team was able to increase productivity by 60% and gain trusted financial insight to drive sales model changes and capital expenditure choices that helped improve overall gross margins by 39%. The critical insight also allowed them to address market conditions that led to a decline in membership a few years ago. By providing transparency into sales per employee, Sage Intacct helped leadership adjust their sales commission model, reorganize their personnel, and better incentivize their top performers. They used the system to compare programming across different entities and clubs and find new ways to promote and optimize their most profitable programs like training and swimming. And as a result of putting in these changes, one location doubled their revenue, training net revenue jumped by 75%, and the swim program grew by 80%. Tyler Shockley, the finance director at Courthouse Athletic Club, said, "Before Sage Intacct, I spent 80% of my time just trying to get information into or out of our legacy system. Now that so much of our bookkeeping is automated, I spend around 60% of my time reporting, analyzing, and budgeting, and play a more strategic role of providing financial leadership and guidance for the direction of our business." So we've seen how leveraging real-time multidimensional reports and dashboards not only saves precious time and manual effort, but can also transform the way you're making business decisions. The right partner for a financial management system can cut the amount of reporting you're conducting in Excel. The norm really doesn't have to be tiresome, error-prone spreadsheets with thousands and thousands of accounts and dozens of tabs. Excel is a great tool for running ad hoc reports or prototyping reports, but you should aim to run less than 10% of your reporting in Excel. Let your financial system handle the rest. So we've also seen how dimensionalized reporting leads to a leaner chart of accounts, and we've seen how a bloated chart of accounts can lead to slow reporting and lead to delays in the board making strategic decisions as reports get delayed by weeks and weeks. Dimensionalized reporting also allows you to slice and dice your data without needing to export information into disparate spreadsheets. Now you can produce even ad hoc reports in minutes. So if someone at a board meeting wants to see specific numbers, you can pull it up at the meeting instead of needing to reconvene. We've seen how this lack of manual work led to a 25% increase in the finance team's productivity at Room to Read. The reporting tools in Sage Intacct also provide continuous updates on the status of the business. They condense financial and non-financial data and user-friendly reports and dashboards so you don't need to export information from your various systems. Again, you can just connect it all in one place. And since the reports and dashboards and cloud solutions are self-service, anyone can grab the reports that they need at any time, and they can trust that the data they're receiving is real-time and shared. Since the financial management software acts as a central source, you can trust that everything you're looking at is accurate and synced. Everyone has the access to the same information to drive key business decisions. Even more so, these insights are actionable. You can look into your reports and dashboards and make informed decisions that help change the course of your company. We've seen this with Courthouse Athletic Club as Tyler Shockley used their dashboards and reporting to increase overall gross margins by 39%. With dynamic self-service reporting and dashboards, finance, managerial, and executive leaders alike all have the information they need at their fingertips to make quick decisions about the company. They become strategists who base business decisions on informed, data-driven reasoning with no room left for intuition, guesswork, or happenstance. The days of finance only being seen as a trustworthy, reliable keeper of the record are over. Now you can move out of routine, mundane tasks and be the leader driving strategic change in your organization. You are responsible for delivering timely information to your team to help them perform at their highest potential so they can achieve business goals. Finance professionals should be looking towards the future and be more strategic in predicting the future direction of the organization by uncovering hidden opportunities and closing information gaps. We saw this in how Tyler Shockley of Courthouse Athletic Club was able to leverage these powerful reporting tools to double an entity's revenue. And finally, what we've seen in many businesses is many finance professionals are taking on a more transformational role. Standing still is no longer an option for them. As we've seen with Tyler, he was able to enhance the finance function at Courthouse Athletic Club, elevating it far above its traditional reporting role and positioning it as the guide of the business. With the new reporting capabilities, he was able to push forward key initiatives that generated huge value for the business. Therefore, he was able to take a central and transformational role in the strategic direction of Courthouse Athletic Club. With the right tools working for you, that could also be you.
And before I let you go, I want to ask you one final question. Are you ready to use real-time insights to transform finance in your organization? And that wraps up our webinar for today. If you're interested in learning more, you can try Sage Intacct free with a 30-day trial. You can also attend one of our upcoming webinars, and you can see what webinars we have in store for you here. You can also follow us on Twitter, connect with us on Facebook, or contact us directly at the number that you see on your screen. Thanks so much. Bye.